Okay, so join me for some lovely stretching now that we've had our workout. So put your favourite piece of music on. I think that's probably the best way to do it, isn't it? So come down onto the floor, just relax, stretch those legs out. And we'll take the hands above your head, take a nice deep breath in, and breathe out. And deep breath in through the nose, and breathe out through the mouth. And relax. Just bring the arms down by your side, so keep the breathing nice and deep and even. And just bring the elbows out from shoulder height, outwardly rotate and relax. Good. Palms are facing upwards. Backs of the hands on the floor if you can get them there. Just let the feet fall out to the side so you release any tension in the hips. And take some nice deep breaths in again. And breathe it out. And relax. Well done. Let's bring the arms to the side and the feet up onto the floor. Tuck your tailbone under and tilt the pelvis so you're rocking through that lower back, just pushing into your lower back. Top of the pelvis is on the floor. Release it and then do it again. Pulling in. Engage your core as you go. So the stomach muscles are playing a big part in this. And release it. And again, draw in. Now brace the abs, hold that pelvic tilt and pick your knees up, bring them in towards the chest. And once they're there, hold on to them so you've got support there. Okay, well done. Now let's rock the knees from one side to the other. Very gently massage your back on the floor. Nice relaxing position. And centre that up. Okay, we're going to keep one leg close to you, the other leg down on the floor, and hold on to the back of your knee now so that you can draw deeply into this hip. So again, pelvis is tilting, the lower back on the floor. You've got a lovely hip stretch from that top of the pelvis through to the glutes and through to your straight leg. Don't forget the straight leg is pushing away into the front of the hip. The bent leg is stretching into the back of the hip. So from here, let's take that leg up to the ceiling, walk your hands down it and just hold on somewhere that's comfortable for you. And just move the ankle around as you go, so it's a lovely time to just loosen off any tightness at the ankle joint. Pushing the heel up to the top, take a deep breath in and draw deeply into your hamstring stretch. So nice deep breathing as you go. And just keep that pressure on now that you've got a little bit of load on the hamstrings. Stay with it. Good, keep it there. And then release, well done. We'll bring that leg across the top of the bottom leg now. So hold on to your bottom leg and work deeper into your hip stretch now for this side. So let's have a go at that. Drawing deeply in, lengthen the back of your neck on the floor. And just put a little bit more pressure on that bottom leg to stretch this side of the hip. Okay, release the legs. Let's swap them over. Straighten your first leg. Draw deeply into the bent knee now on the other side and hold on. So hold the back of the knee. Nice strong stretch here for the lower back, through the hip. And you're pushing away through this straight leg so you can feel there's a stretch here at the top of the front of the hip. So keep that focus. Nice deep breaths again. I'm going to take the leg to the top, move the hands down it, and just position the hands in a place that's comfortable for you. You can move the ankle. And again, push the heel upwards, lengthen through the hamstrings, put some load on that leg now to encourage these muscles to stretch. Good. As you breathe through it, you can really feel muscles releasing and lengthening. So just add a little bit more load as they gradually release. And breathe through each one. And then we'll bring that leg down on top of the other side. Draw into it, hold on to the back of the leg. Well done. So you're transferring the stretch now through to your hip again on the other side. Lengthen the back of your neck. And release the legs. Well done. Let's bring those feet to the floor now. Stretch the arms out from the shoulders. Let's keep the shoulders down on the floor the whole time. We'll turn the knees to one side so you just really release any tight spots in the lower back. Again, you're stretching into the hip, but mainly on the lower back now. So just relax the shoulders. And then move through to the other side. Make sure you find the same position on the other side, so you're balancing the range on the stretches here. So you're moving through. Just relax this shoulder now on the floor. Let's do that again. Come through to the first side. So move the knees across. If you want to increase your range and increase your load in the stretch, just be careful with your lower back. Extend your leg out in front. Place it on the floor somewhere. Don't leave it hanging in the air. So just supported stretch position, which will increase the load here through the lower back. So take your time with it. And bend the knees and roll to the other side. And do the same thing again. Extend the leg. I'm going to hit the wall. Okay, and stretch through the hip, through the back. Anchoring the opposite shoulder to the floor. And then back to the centre line. Well done. Let's bring those knees in and just back to the top to rock gently through that lower back. Okay, should we come on onto your side, turn over, and we're up onto hands and knees position. So from here, I just want you to put a little bit of weight on the wrists and then come off them. And again, a little bit of weight on the wrists. So just a little bit of bone loading while we're in this position. So push and release. Good, so it's specific to the wrist side. Okay, we'll swing this. Now I'm going to start with the other leg, sorry. Swing your right leg through to the front now. And let's place the elbow on top of this knee to support your back to start with, just to give your hip a chance to release. So the back knee is way behind you now. Front of the hip stretching quite nicely, and this knee here is directly on top of that heel. So you've got the alignment in the joints. Once you're ready, you can increase this stretch by leaning towards the floor. And then release it. Well done. So reverse, back up through the knee, back up through the body, and then bring it back in and swap your leg over. So I'm going to turn so you can see that stretch from this side. So position your heel out in front of you. The knee stays just behind it or on top of that heel. Slide your other leg backwards and come off the knee. Well, just position yourself forwards on the knee rather than sitting directly on top of that kneecap. Okay, now you can start to put some weight through the front of your hip. But take your time. It's a very strong stretch, this one. Let's get your hands down when you're ready to increase it. Good. And when you're ready to come out of it, hands on the top leg, push yourself back up and then start to bring the weight back. Right, so if you put your heel quite close to this supporting knee, place your hands on top of that heel, dig your toes in at the back, and that should enable you to come up to stand quite comfortably. Right, just walk your feet out for a moment. And roll the shoulders. So a big open stretch for the front of the chest. And hold on to your hands and work deeply into your upper back. So you've got that squeeze into the upper back to enable you to stretch the chest. Okay, so keep the length in the spine, pull your tummy in, drop the shoulders and squeeze. Well done. Release. I've just remembered. Right, let's move into a calf stretch. Lengthen through to the heel at the back, bend into the knee at the front, and just make sure your back heel is round behind your toes so you're not turning your foot out to the side. You've got that direct alignment with the heel and the toe to enable the calf muscles to stretch. So once you're in that position, lift the rib cage but lean gently into your front leg. And if you've got a wall in front of you, that works quite nicely to support this stretch. You can lean up against the wall and push into it and give yourself a little bit more focus on the calf muscles for a moment. Okay, swap legs. I'm going to turn. Again, realign the heel and the toe at the back, bend your knee at the front, lift up through the rib cage and just start to ease that stretch through the calf muscles now. Good. Find your wall if you've got one in front of you. And release it out. Well done. Walking through the feet. Now, if you want to stretch your quadriceps, you're on one leg, so make sure your knee is able to cope with that. Let's bring that heel up, bend your standing knee, straighten up through the ribs, and then get the knees to touch, the knees together down here, so you've got that lovely long lift through the body. So don't overstress your knee joint in this position though, just make sure it can cope with it. And then we'll swap through and do the other side. So for the quadriceps, the front of the leg, pushing into your hip as well, you get a little bit more of a stretch at the hip flexor here. So knees together, bend the standing knee, nice straight back position. Good, and release it out, walk it through, and well done for completing the workout and the stretch at the end of it. The only stretch I did forget that you might want to put in is this lovely back lengthening position. So one of my favourite stretches and I forgot to do it, so maybe you can include that when you're on the floor before you stand up. Okay, thank you all, see you soon.